What's going on, everybody? This is B-Man from the Kung Fu Society. Now, I did see a couple videos from somebody. I'm not gonna say who. Um, One was, and they basically how to make. One says how to make your own staff. Another one says how to make your own staff without any money, things like that. The first video was, you know, was order this rattan from the online store, and then it comes like 9, 10 feet long, and so you hack off however much you need to make it a 6 foot stick, 7 foot stick, what have you. And it's like, well, that's not really informative. That's just an infomercial to buy something from your store. And then the same YouTuber um, had a video said how to get a stick with no money, and this one he was actually crashing at a kind of castle or chateau along the French Riviera, and there was a stick of bamboo floating in the water. Again, about 8, 9 foot stick of bamboo, and it's like he grabbed it and he hacked it off to like be 6 foot. And so it's like, well, sticks of bamboo aren't exactly lying around. And if you are going to get a stick, bamboo is certainly not what I would recommend for a kung fu staff. Maybe a bow staff, but not a kung fu staff. And it splits, so maybe not a bow staff either. You know, I mean, you could find a piece of oak, which I wouldn't recommend either. But one thing that I would recommend is you don't have a martial arts store, if you lost your waxwood staff or you don't have one, um, and you don't exactly have the finances to go out and buy um, a rattan or even a waxwood staff, hopefully you do have a hacksaw, or if you have a PVC cutter, and they're going to be probably the most expensive item on the list. You get one of those, and then you get a 10-foot stick of PVC. You want to get the 3/4 width, and you want to get the electrical grade, because at the end you see that there's a bell, and that bell is going to be fat on that end, and then of course it just goes up that way. And so all you got to do is you just because the weight's going to be very similar, and so that bell at the end, you know and you want to do it in the electrical grade, because the electrical grade is going to have that bell. The plumbing isn't, and it's the same material. It's PVC. It's Schedule 40. No big deal. But if you want that sort of simulation of a waxwood staff, what's going to cost you is the hacksaw, um, or the PVC cutter. And if you want to make it look like the traditional waxwood staff, the $3 to $4 can of spray paint after you sand it down. Still, this will cost you less than $20. The stick of PVC itself costs less than $3. So that's the cheapest thing I could recommend. It'll wobble when you hit with it, and it's got the same type of weight ratio. But anyways, that's my recommendation. If you want to make a staff or get a staff on the cheap, and you don't want to pay out, and you don't have the money to pay, which you could still find one. They're like $20 or 25, 30, depends on what outlet you go to. Um, so for the waxwood, but for the PVC, it is cheap and it is durable. And unless you're under extreme heat, um, it's you'll be fine. Even under extreme heat, it could withstand temperatures of up to 144 degrees Fahrenheit before it starts to melt and bend. Well, no, it's probably going to start bending about 115. Anyways, so get yourself one of those. You can practice with it, and it does the trick. And as you saw there in that video, let me go ahead and bring up the still. I have it right next to a waxwood staff. So So there you go. It's going to be the same width, just about as a waxwood staff. It's going to have that fat on the bottom, narrow at the top type of feel. Um, and anyways, happy practicing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.